Man, can you believe it? It is the final day in September. Where has it gone? Or has it gone quick enough? It depends on who you ask. Thanks for tuning in here. This is the afternoon forecast discussion for the state of Alabama, and lots to talk about. So let's get right to it. For those of you looking for rain, look elsewhere. We're not going to have much of it here over the next several days. We are likely to see this latest drought monitor, despite the fact we had some soaking rains in specific areas. Again, it was very hit and miss. We saw over an inch of rain in some of our Birmingham suburbs last week, while others remained untouched. So I think the overall drought monitor, the scenario will likely worsen. Tropics remain no threat. Because of steering and some really cool circulations, we will see these storms move well out to sea, but the beneficial rainfall that would have come with it also out to sea. Better rain chances do come next week. Big picture here, this might be kind of what you'd expect for this time of year. September and October are pretty notorious for being quieter months from a synoptic standpoint. You don't necessarily have the prolific subtropical air mass pushing against a polar air mass like what you eventually see in November, in December. That tends to ramp up more so by the end of October, early November, and that introduces our new severe weather season. For the time being, pretty uneventful here across the state. We've had a few illegal showers, as we call them, the last couple of afternoons, and we may see one here. You'll have less than a tenth of an inch of rain, really trace amounts. And there's a look at the Alabama view at some of those light showers. We have a little spin up at about 500 millibars, and that is what has led to a few of these showers coming down from the Appalachians. Here's the drought monitor again. This was released last week. So what they do, they survey this on Tuesdays. So it's being surveyed today. They release it on Thursdays once they've done their analysis, and then we'll get the new data um, on Thursday once it's all been put through. But majority of the state of Alabama, I believe it's somewhere around 80 plus 90+% of the state is in some level of drought. Again, not uncommon for this time of year. It's Alabama's dry season, but we eventually do need some rain. So will we get it? Not in the short term. In the short term, the story is temperatures. So take a look at the map. You have cooler air to the east, warmer to the west. And right now, the hottest temperatures in parts of the country are over Mississippi, the Mississippi Delta. We're seeing that gradient from east to west across Alabama this afternoon, and we'll probably see it again on Wednesday. I've got our highest highs: Mobile, Tuscaloosa, Demopolis might be a little closer to 88. Birmingham 87, 86, Sylacauga 87, 86, Dothan 85. So we're going to see a distinct difference from east to west. And then Thursday, our numbers started to come down, I think, statewide. And it's because of this. Big picture here. This is Thursday afternoon. Basically the same map I just showed you. We're just zoomed out now. And we're looking at the highest high temperatures, the highest heat levels over central Texas, from Dallas down to Houston. From Dallas over to Shreveport, really from Memphis down to Greenwood, that sort of geographic area. And then a cool air wedge is going to move in. And this is going to drop our temperatures nicely by Friday morning. I've got lower 50s northeast of Birmingham. I've got right about 60 degrees around Birmingham, maybe 59, 58. All the way down to US 80, we could have 50s. Again, the coolest air is going to be just east, just north of us. But this will be an air mass that can get well into Alabama, and likely will here as we go into Friday and even the weekend. Now, these type of fronts don't stick around too long. I think we'll start to see some return flow by Saturday afternoon, but we'll have two good mornings, I think, with cool air in place, refreshing fall-like air in place before that pattern shifts. Our rain chances will pick up with that. Next week, we will start to see a pattern pivot where southerly winds will likely bring about increased rain chances, and a southeasterly flow should bring back rain, but models really differ on that here as we move forward. So we'll keep that kind of mentioned vague at the moment. Temperature outlook through Tuesday, October the 14th. Sheesh. Will fall ever arrive? The leaves are changing, but that's because of the daylight change, not because of temperature change. And we stay warm all across the country, at least most of the lower 48, through mid-October. All right, update on the tropics here. This is pretty cool. You got these dueling tropical systems. You have Imelda to the To the west, you've got Umberto to the east, and neither of which is very impressive. Umberto's gone from a Category 4 about this time yesterday down to a Category 1 and barely holding on to that. Very disheveled. Imelda's never really had a good structure, but is a hurricane finally, and this is a look at the track for these systems. So we headed out to sea, and out of everybody's mind, everybody's thought here as we move into the days ahead. So again, not a major influential factor to the forecast. In fact, these particular storms, what they can do for us this time of year is bring very beneficial rain. But again, that only if we have those move on shore. And because we've had this change in our pattern, this steering, they stay well away from here. So good news for the East Coast, bad news for our dry scenario. But as always, we will make it up late in the year. We'll keep a close eye on it, on those water levels, on the water table. Those are your headlines for this final day in September. Have a great afternoon.